156, Justice for Tyrone West and All Victims of Police Brutality. Tawanda, it's all you.
Thank you, my queen sister. Yes. So if you guys can tune into the video that we play every week, and I promise you we have a new video. Well, it's pretty much up, we pretty much refreshed it with new information and kind of took out the old prosecutor's name, that type of stuff, and new pictures. But we were having problems trying to get it to you guys tonight. But just hold on to the video that we always show you before we get started. And again, this is West Wednesday, week 556. Mic check.
Can't stop, won't stop, till killer cops are in cell blocks. Can't stop.
The following newly released video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No, why you
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz. In a newly released video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one. Concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up. No.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced, this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly. Picked me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog-tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck. I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, I said, what's wrong with it? Improper way with it. There's no such thing as an improper way.
You gonna tell me my job, bro?
I know the law.
Are you gonna tell me the law?
I know the law.
You gonna tell me the law?
I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration? To profile, y'all use the seatbelt as a reason. Profile.
So do me a favor, take out your keys.
Yeah, you can record for what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I'll step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call a supervisor? I'm about to do shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now.
Yeah? And we are 2 law-abiding citizens that we're getting targeted, and I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardez Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered on July the 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 or 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they could never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
Mic
All right,
check.
we're back. Mic check.
Mic check. Sorry.
Mic check.
Mic check. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I got cut off and I'm back on now. But again, I thank each and every last one of you that are online watching this tonight for joining us. And I want to give a special shout out to everybody that came out last week for our 555 Keep the Movement Alive. It was very epic. Very powerful, when we can have different people all come together for one purpose, one cause, and that's keeping the movement alive. And no matter what you're doing, just like I said at our West Wednesday last week, I said no matter what you're doing in this community, as long as you're doing something to help out, that's all that matters. So big shout out to everybody. I felt like we actually did a West Wednesday reunion because I saw so many faces, literally so many faces that I haven't seen in years, and it like really, really made my day. So just a big shout out to everybody that participated, and even if you there and you couldn't make it, that sent the special messages to say, I'm sorry I had other things that's going on, but I'm there in spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you much. It was really nice. So again, just grateful that everything, went the way I expected and beyond my expectation, to be honest. But again, just keeping a movement alive is very important. And the reason why I elected tonight to be inside, because I just wanted to kind of debrief and talk about last week as well as things that are happening right now. And just to let you guys know, we will be back in person next week. Excited about that. So some of my West Coalition members was like, no, we want to be outside. And I definitely did wanted to be out in the streets tonight. But I said, you know what, let me just come online and just chat it up real quick and just kind of keep it pushing, because I have a busy upcoming weekend. I'm supposed to be in Ocean City and leading up to the weekend for my daughter's one of her competitions again in Ocean City, just like we had left Texas not too long ago, and that was a trip of a lifetime. I shared that with you guys the last time. But tonight, I really want to talk about the things that are bothering me. And it shouldn't just be bothering me. I'm quite sure it's bothering lots the people, just the racism that is happening in America with the way, black, brown people and people of different races are being treated and targeted just because of their race. It's very sickening and very disgusting, and I had just from one of my colleagues, they had sent me a news article that was posted in the New York Times, and it was about the goon squad of Mississippi. And in case you guys don't remember, but it was like last year they pleaded guilty. It was six white officers, six racist, let's be clear, six racist pieces of crap that pleaded guilty only because they got caught. And it's just funny, but it's just sad that it takes for their dirt to get out before they actually be like, oh, I'm guilty. And then I read the article and I've been disturbed by it all day. That literally, the officer got 20 years or whatever. But I felt like what they did to these two black men, these two black young men, was horrific, disgusting, and sad. And I just remember, I heard, and it's sad because we can't rely on media to actually be our just going to give us everything. But I remember last year when I went to my Uncle Bob's event, at police brutality event, and we met Malik Shabazz, and he's one of the attorneys of the two black brothers in Mississippi, and he was pretty much telling us about it. When I heard it, like seeing it in the media, but when he broke it down, I was like, you gotta be kidding. I was so disturbed, and it was crazy. But just to kind of echo a few of the things that he said about the two black young men, and they're always in my prayers and things like that. One of the names are Eddie Parker, 36, and Michael Jenkins, 33. But anyway, they are pretty much, from my understanding, and please don't quote me on it because I probably mess it up. Hopefully not. But don't judge my heart. Please don't judge my heart. But anyway, the two black young men were staying with this um lady or whatever. And in this town, and it reminds me, like I was telling you guys about the sundown towns that I did, like, was really unaware of, that they, which I know about racism. We know that they do it all the time. That's like, but just to actually know that this stuff is just they're just getting away with this type of racism is really disgusting, terrifying, and very frightening. But the fact that in this particular county, they didn't like black people. And it reminds me of one of them sundown towns where everybody literally was involved, including sheriffs, including just it reminds me of the gun trace task force, literally. But anyway, the white woman obviously wasn't from prejudice, but she had the two guys there, and they were helping her out because she was in need of help, and they were helping her out and things like that. But to make a long story short, to speed up, fast forward, these racist people in that community did not like the idea of two black men being there. So what they did was horrific. They got the goon squad literally to come in there to actually not only attack these black brothers, but to actually torment them, to actually sexually assault these men. Like, I'm talking about doing horrific things. They actually raided like the wrong house, or a house that was next door to them, and they found like toys or whatever, an adult toy. I don't want to get into it, but just in case like children are listening, but they found an adult toy and they stole it out the house or whatever, brought it with them to use on the tank. Like, they did horrific things, like things that we wouldn't even dream of or imagine that is happening in past 2023. Like, this is like utterly ridiculous, horrific. It's just it's terrible. But anyway, they actually so one of the things, they kept on tasing them as a part of their torture. They kept on doing something where they was actually pouring different liquids down their throat. I forgot the terminology that's used to what they were doing far as that's concerned, but they were actually, like I said, pouring water, pouring grease, just pouring stuff down in their throats. They actually sexually assaulted them with the toy. It was horrible, disgustingly. I don't even want to talk about it, but it got to the point that the racist piece of crap actually at the last part of it decides he wants to take his gun and stick it in this young man's mouth after doing horrific things for him to him. I'm sorry. And the fact that the gun went off, and like, this man could have been actually murdered on the spot, and they probably thought he was dead. They called to cover up, just like in cases they do. Reminds me of a cover up when they did with Keith Davis Jr. They actually someone to bring it was a BB gun to try to say, but then the truth came out. Thank God the truth came out. And thank God, and Mr. Sabaj, when he was trying to represent these guys, he got death threats. I mean, he had people that was like, oh no, we don't do this, like, but he said, you know what, I don't care. At the end of the day, this is what I'm going to do. And I was literally shocked and surprised because I had remember meeting him before. And to me, I feel, and it's not the West Coalition, this is strictly Tawanda Jones speaking from my heart. Me meeting him in person around the time with the Freddie Gray um brutal murder of Freddie Gray, and he came, and that's when the uprising happened. And I actually quoted something about him, and it wasn't a good side, like I'm talking good about him now, saying I'm proud of him. But I do know people can change from different things. But I really felt like he changed because at first, I'm not even gonna lie, when he first came to Baltimore, I thought he was a poverty pimp. The way he was acting, because I'm like, who is this dude? Never saw him before, this, that, and the third. But the reason what made me really think that was the fact that when he had got the permit when we were marching with Freddie Gray family and things like that, and everything was peaceful, he said that he wanted to shake some things up. He said, let's go hit him in the harbor. I was standing right next to him, right there, holding Freddie Gray mom's hands. And as he was saying, you know what? Let's go shake some stuff up in this city. We got a permit. Let's hit them in their pocket. And I'm in my mind like, no, let's not shake nothing up. Like, let's just stick to the plan. But when we went there, that's when all hell broke out. That's when this white guy came out of the bar and he said, F Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray was a thug. He got what he deserved, type of thing. And that's when all what broke out. And that's when forward into the uprising. But I was right there when everything unfolded, happened. I'm sitting there like shocked. I'm sitting there getting phone calls when people were calling me saying the CNN News. I was actually doing an interview about my brother when all hell broke out, and I had to literally hold on to my sign and keep it moving down the street because so many officers came around the corner on horses. It was just something that I would never ever forget. But back to him. So I thought that Mr. Shabazz was like a poverty pimp sent to sell us out. But however, pretty much he turned I guess the other cheek, and now is truly fighting for black people and for good cause, and for him to actually put his life on the line getting death threats. I definitely appreciate him. I definitely appreciate anyone that actually put their body on the line to make sure that we are heard, that we are not forgotten, and that the truth always comes out. We stick together, type of thing. So I'm super proud of him and things like that. But it's just sad. So back to what I was saying about. So with the 20 years, to me, that's nothing, because I just think about how literally they throw 20 years and more at guys in our community that just got caught with a bag of weed back in the day, got 20 years for nothing. Like, I remember the time they actually gave my own brother damn near 20 years for nothing. Was in court. He was in a house that didn't even belong to him with his friends, and they found drugs not on them but outside of the house, and then they brought the drugs and them back in the house and tried to pin it on my brother because they found the BG&E bill in his name. So I know how racist and corrupt this system is, but it's disgusting. But for them to get such a light sentence, I'm not happy about that. They should have got the damn death penalty. God forgive me, and I don't wish death on anyone. And I know I sound like a hypocrite, but for you to do the things that they did, then one of the killers, well, I ain't gonna say killer because they didn't die, obviously, but one of the maniacs, the pieces of human crap, had the nerve to stand up in the courtroom and act like he was so remorseful and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And one of the brothers was like, "I forgive you. God forgive me." Like, and I'm a Christian woman. I sound like a hypocrite. And I'm praying, like, if you're a Christian, pray for me because I'm not there yet. I'm not forgiving those pieces of crap. And I know if we want forgiveness, we got to forget. I'm not doing that. Like, no, you're going to stand up there and say in front of a courtroom now, now your life is in the balance of the court, and you want to act like you care. You didn't give a damn, you maniac, piece of crap, sick bastard. You did not care anything about these guys. All you did what they was doing to us 400 plus years ago, raping our men, women, children, degrading us, and we're supposed to take this system seriously. Like, this is disgusting. And the fact that I know that I'm riding through all these states when I had the nerve to actually ride to Texas. I don't know what I was thinking about. I was just thinking about making my baby happy. And my daughter said, hey, let's just take a road trip. And that was the longest road trip. But I'm glad that I took it because it opened my eyes on so many levels. So that I'm glad, first of all, that we're safe and that I'm here to testify and that we know that it could have went the other way. But actually riding through these type of states and all this stuff and knowing how corrupt, it's just like really scary for you to know. And then they call themselves a goon squad. You got that, like just like the GTF, the gun trace task force, and it's just sickening and disgusting. But the fact that when we play this video week after week and we show you Ruiz, even though it was 16 additional killer cops that murdered my brother, but we always highlight Ruiz because he was the first one to actually pull my brother over and start murdering my brother. You know, he started the whole entire death sentence on my brother, literally for nothing. My brother wasn't doing anything wrong, but the fact that he is still working and that the last time that I could recall and the latest information that I had, that he had got a promotion. He was promoted to a sergeant. Like, are you freaking kidding me? You're promoted to a sergeant, I believe, at a homicide unit when you murdered my damn brother. Are you kidding me? And then he had the nerve, y'all, to actually marry Michelle Battle, a state prosecutor in the state's attorney's office in Ivan Bates' office, and we wonder why we can't get a fair trial. We wonder why my brother's case is getting kicked down the road like an empty can. It is disgusting. And to me, justice delayed is justice denied. They're denying us. They're denying us justice and accountability because at the end of the day, there is no justice. It's just us trying to hold folks accountable. But they are lying. They are denying us accountability. And it makes me so mad. Like I talked to several reporters this week because of the 555 Keep the Movement Alive. They got statements. And then I talked to another reporter on a different note. But the fact that I can't even talk to none of them without breaking down crying, and my tears are this. These are my tears, and has always been my tears. I can't even mourn. I have never gotten the chance to properly mourn. And as I speak for myself, I can speak for others too. I'm quite sure my sister Angela has never got a chance to mourn the death of her brother Timothy Flemings. Like, this is disgusting, man, the way they treat us. And the reason why I didn't get a chance to mourn, how can I have peace when there is no justice? There's no way I can have peace. It's no way I can have peace. There's nowhere none of our families can have peace. Like, literally, it's sad. It's disgusting. You know, and the fact that what I said that to the reporter that asked me, you know, how do you feel about everything? I am hurt. I am beyond like angry, like I'm everything in one, and it's not good. For the simple fact, just like I told her, I never missed a day. And for people to treat me as if I took a vacation or well needed time that I needed to heal and treat me like that, I walked away. I never ever stepped to the side. I kept up. I kept on top of prosecutors. I'm acting like I'm an investigator myself. I'm going into my pocketbook after waiting 154 days for lies from David Fowler to say my brother died from a bad heart and a heart attack and dehydration. Are you freaking kidding me? So at that moment, I knew then, oh, hell to the no. I will take all my money, every dime to make sure the truth comes out. And I should not have been pushed in that predicament. And it don't look like nobody's going to ever give me back my $50,000. But it's not about the income. It's about the outcome. But they owe me that. They owe me that. That should be off the top. I should get that because at the end of the day, when I went to my attorneys, And I told them day one, I want to go after the medical examiner's office because why am I digging in my pocketbook personally? You know, this has nothing to do with y'all case, but personally. And they're like, oh, just wait, Miss Jones. Wait. Let's deal with the civil case and we'll get back to me. Not knowing that there was a statute of limitation on suing them, going after them for my money. I didn't know it was a 3-year. And by the time I found out on the 4th year, it was like, wow. So why wasn't I explained that? Like, I had no idea, but it's sad. But like I said, at the end of the day, the truth always comes out. And I know that one day that I will have accountability, not just for my big brother, but for all the victims of police brutality and for myself, because the fact of the way that they mistreated me, and that's the part that gets me, because now they want to make up laws and say, well, we started this after that. No, that stuff should have been started from the day I stepped out there, all boots on the ground, never missed a beat. And that's the part that hurts me. I've been out there since 2013, and it's been family members like Miss Dorothy Elliott, Miss Dot, who's been out there for 30 plus years, okay? Been out there a long time, and still ain't getting no accountability. And that really sucks for the families that have been out there, never missed a beat, and then y'all want to change laws and act like y'all care and change and reform this. That's why I say we need to knock this system down and build it back up again. It's a capitalist system that does not care about any of us. It used our pain for its gain. That's what it always and always will do. And as long as we know that, we have to think differently. Like, I'm definitely for voting and all that good stuff, because we do need to change these lynching laws. But if they haven't been changed in 400 plus years, at what point are they going to actually change enough to make sure that we have the same right, the same human right to live in pursuit of happiness and freedom? When is that day going to happen? It does not seem that it's going to happen no time soon. And I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of people playing. I'm tired of them kicking the can down the road, acting like they're going to do something. And more time that gets by, justice delayed is justice denied. They're denying me accountability for the brutal execution of my brother. And the only reason why they're doing that, because it's like opening up the Pandora box. It's more than just corrupt cops, because I honestly believe that if it was just the cops involved with my brother's murder, they probably would have been opened up that Pandora box and let them jokers fell on their head. But at the end of the day, they're like, you know what? Too many hands in covering this thing up. Too many hands was hiding the truth in this. So that means if we open this can up, not only do we have to investigate these killer cops, we got to investigate David Fowler. We got to investigate the doctors at Good Sam Hospital who lied and said that Mr. West died there at 8:02 when he was dead on Kentmore and Kelsway. So, like I said, it's sad and disgusting, but this is something that we as people need to realize. This is what they do. They're going to cover up to the end and play us out and pretend that they're doing something. And as long as they keep us calm, we're just, being peaceful and doing our little peaceful protests and acting in love and all that, they're good. They're good. And I'm not saying that I would not change that, because that's who I am as a character, but I'm still going to change things, because you're not about to keep doing this, not only to you, to my family, but to the other families before me and the other families after me. Just like poor Anthony Anderson, brutally murdered, tossed on his head like a basketball a year before my brother was murdered. A year before my brother was murdered. And what did they do? Nothing. In the homicide, the medical examiner's office ruled and said it was a homicide. But how in the world can you justify a homicide? If I was to go and toss somebody on their head like a damn basketball, would they say that was justifiable? No, they wouldn't. So again, my people, this is real. And I always think about Pastor Steve Turner, who just transitioned, from having a seizure this week, and I'm praying, but he always, as he was a living testimony of how God is so good. And then he also was a police officer who was blackballed for years, all because he didn't want to go with the status quo. Once he said, no, I don't want to be a part of that blue wall of silence, they blackballed him. They took his clergy rights. They did so much of stuff to this man. And he was even in fear as a black man having health issues that he would call me sometimes from his hospital bed and say, hey, sis, put that call up because I don't trust them. They might just let me die in here. And I will put my warrior people on them so bad. We'll call on that hospital and we'll let them know, hey, we on it. And then that brother will be able to live another day and come out there and say, thank you, my warrior queen sister. So I'm just saying stuff is real. I hate to sound like a conspiracy theory, but stuff is real, guys. Do not take life for granted and always believe the victims. Always believe us when we tell you, or the victim families, when we tell you stuff is happening, we telling you that they messing with our car, that they threatening us, that they doing stuff. Please believe us. They want us to look like we are the ones insane. That is their game. That is their motive. That is how they operate. But the difference in my case, they can't say, oh, well, this young lady, she was high off drugs. I don't use drugs. I don't drink. You know what I mean? So they can't say that. That, oh, she was inebriated or she was under the influence of whatever. They know my record is clean, just as my holy temple, my body is clean as well. So they can't make up those type of lies, but they will still make you look like you 14 karat crazy. But guess what? We're going to flip this thing, turn it around, because enough is enough. We are tired as a people are suffering. And then I'm seeing so many kings and queens that are involved in the community. They're just dropping dead like flies. Like Sister Maybell, who was doing a lot of stuff in the community, didn't know on a personal level, but always as I passed through different venues that involve Baltimore legends, always seen this queen. And many queens and kings that literally, I'm just going on Facebook and they're like, oh, they passed away, I can't believe it, da 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 da. Like, it's sad and disgusting. And we need to start investigating this stuff, man. We need to be our own researchers and stop just letting them say, oh, well, this one just died from a seizure, this one just. And I know, and I'm not saying that, as we get older, when our body things happen, life happens. But at the end of the day, these people save who they want to save, and they let whoever they want die. Let's be crystal clear. I done went in for things with my daughters, and police officers have recognized me. And I'll never forget when my baby had an asthma attack, and this was like me being young in the game. I just came down. My brother was murdered 2013. I started West Wednesday. We doing our thing. 2014, my daughter gets rushed to the hospital. I'm in there, and these officers come across and walk and say, oh, be careful. There's some animals around the corner. Be careful. You might want to be careful, Miss Jones. And I'm like, damn, how they know my name? Like, I ain't say my name. So I'm like, okay. Then my daughter, at the time, younger, she's like, mommy, oh, what animals? She's excited. She can't wait to get around the corner to see the animals. We go around there, it's a bunch of animals, but it was cops. They were being smart, but it was damn sure some animals. But it wasn't animals out the zoo. It was the animals in blue, not the ones from the zoo, the animals in blue. Yes, it was animals. But I'm just saying, like, you can't make this stuff up. So I said all this to say, we have to pull together. And if someone tells you, hey, I'm being traumatized by this, somebody is doing that to me, please believe them. Please be their voice. Please help them out in whatever way you can. So on that note, I'm going to stop right there, but I want to I'm going to flip the script to something really powerful. And I just want to, not even powerful, but it's about a powerful queen. Today is my sister Dre's birthday. She always been boots on the ground. She held it up for Hopkins. She always do her thing. I'm hoping she's enjoying her birthday. Like, I'm just like so excited. Today is her birthday. Like, this should be a holiday. We should have been not able to go to school today. Like, school should have been shut down, everything. Because this queen is really in the community doing stuff. And that's how I feel about every member of the West Coalition. Whenever it's any of our birthday, I feel like it should be celebrated as a holiday because we do real powerful work and we're not getting paid. We're doing it from the souls of our hearts and the souls of people. We're doing it out of love, liberation. We're just doing it, guys, because it needs to be done. So a big shout out to the West Coalition, because I know that it was so hard, and for this amazing family of mine to actually put together, getting t-shirts, putting together signs, posters, hitting people up, doing it so professional. They had me thinking like, hold up, was y'all in this business before I met y'all? But they did it so well. I mean, taking their time. This is time that, like I said, nobody's getting paid for. That's why my biggest prayer is some type of way I get into some type of big money this year, and I want to make sure I look out for all my peoples. I don't know if it be through a lottery ticket or somebody just say, you know what, let me bless Miss Jones. Please let the blessing pour down, because I'm the type, I'm not going to just eat. Everybody that's on my team going to eat with me. And then even if you ain't on my team and I know you need help, I'm be the one to help you out. So with that, I just want to check in real quick. I know I've been babbling on. I apologize, but this was backed up energy, and I just wanted to get everything off my little heart and just let you guys know that I love you, and just big shout out to everybody because you are appreciated. So Rachel, if you don't mind, and if I don't know if Bill is in queue or Brian is in queue, can somebody read the questions or comments that's on the board that we can see? I know we probably got different ones from like YouTube or whatever, but whatever you can see on your end, can someone read the questions or comments? Mic check.
Mic check. I'm here, Tawanda. I can do that.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey.
Hey there. So first, the comment this evening was Angela saying mic check. Linda Green said great event, and I'm sure she was speaking about the wonderful and powerful 555th Wednesday last week. Kara says mic check. I'm sorry, did you want to speak?
Oh no, I was just echoing them with you as you were speaking, saying cool.
All right. Someone named Literary Overridey says, hello, sorry for bothering you. No, I don't think we need that one. AC Britt says one of them got 40 years today. Judah says, somehow I missed the beginning. Usually I get a notification. Mic check.
Mic check.
AC says, I'm sorry, Tawanda, didn't mean to speak over
No, I
you.
was saying, I'm sorry. No, I was saying mic check.
Very good. AC says hugs. AC says 100. Judah says, wait, did someone imply that you aren't fighting for justice every day? That's jaw-dropping. No one fights harder or longer. AC says, corrupt cops, medical examiners, state's attorneys, judges, mayors, all of them. Judah said they definitely don't want to reopen the cases before Election Day. And then I posted, yes, Tawanda, you mentioned a number of guilty parties in addition to the killer cops who stole Tyrone's life, Fowler and so on. Exactly. There's a whole system of cruddy people who play a key role in enabling the racism and violence of the police. And that's the last comment so far. And when there's a moment, I have a few more details I'd like to add about the Goon Squad in Mississippi.
Yes. Can you please add the details about the Goon Squad from Mississippi, please?
You want me to do that now?
Yes, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, the first thing I noticed is that the New York Times article was largely written by two junior reporters. They were with the newspaper on a fellowship, and it's a shame on the New York Times for assigning new and inexperienced writers to a very important case like this. I think they did the same once with Tyrone. So one of the cops of the 6 that were involved, that are known to have been involved in the Goon Squad, was Hunter Edward. He shot Mr. Jenkins in the face as part of what he called a mock execution, shattered his jaw, and nearly killed him. The Goon Squad, on another occasion, rammed a stick down one man's throat until he vomited. They dripped molten metal onto another man's skin. They held people down and beat victims until they were bloody and bruised. And it was not uncommon for them to handcuff victims and torture them by shocking them repeatedly with tasers as if they were playing, quote, taser hot potato, competing to see who can inflict the most damage. And they carried these commemorative coins. It's like the state police in Maryland that had a racist commemorative coin that they would carry. And those coins were printed with the words Goon Squad. Some of the coins had an image of a Confederate flag on one side and a noose on the other. After the recent trial for 2 of the cops, one victim forgave them, but another victim refused to forgive the cop who shot him in the mouth. This particular victim, Mr. Jenkins, said, quote, if he wouldn't have gotten caught, you made this point too, Tawanda, if he wouldn't have gotten caught, he would still be doing the same thing. And for that reason, forgive him. And I just want to point out that this is not so unusual for the behavior of police. Just like the GTF in Baltimore was not particularly unusual. And as I see it, personally, the job of the police is to carry out organized violence to keep the working class in check, especially Black working class people. And I want to just bring up 2 chants that we had for our march last week that are kind of new. One of them is, in response to all this police violence, turn up, can't do less, we do this for Tyrone West. And the other one is, I still hear my brother crying, I can't breathe. Now I'm in the struggle saying, I can't leave. Mic check.
Mic check. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Yes. Love it. Thank you for that, Uncle Bill. Thank you so much. And yeah, so glad you gave those horrible details. And it's just sad, like it's just disgusting. That's all I can say. But it's very important that we keep this work um in the forefront and that everybody can see it. And I'm glad too that West Wednesday inspired a lot of people, family that came after my brother to actually do and set aside a day where they do their thing. Like I look at Stephon Clark family. They got Stephon Clark Sunday, and his brother pretty much was like, yeah, Tawanda, that was inspired by West Wednesday, and that really touched my heart. And just seeing people do stuff on a weekly basis and never giving up is beyond amazing to me. So definitely much gratitude for that. So I was told in our little personal chat that we talk offline sometimes and we talk about like our planning groups, but I was told that this week, literally in the last week or two, that we have 40 victims that were gunned down, and these were only by use of force from using a gun, not you know like beating down like my brother was pretty much brutally murdered, but actually gunned down. So do we have 40 new victims, which is disgusting, Uncle Bill?
Yeah, Hillary's going to be upholding those names this evening.
Okay, awesome. And is she in queue?
I am.
Awesome. Okay, so Hillary, do you have our statement?
I can pull it up right now.
Okay, because if I try to do it, it's going to cut me off. So, if you don't mind. So while Hillary pull up the statement as we go into the sad list tonight, I just want to again, if anybody is going through anything, you're in my prayers, you're in my thoughts. I'm sending positivity to you, and just letting you know, don't give up no matter how hard, the struggle may be or what you're going through may be. Don't give up, because it could seem like, the world is on top of you one day, and the next day you're able to wake up in the morning, hit the reset button, and that's just opening your eyes. I call it the reset button, and you're granted life again. You're able to actually start a whole new fresh day. So that night before could have been the world on top of you. You felt like you were losing. You felt like you had nothing else to live for, this, that, and the third. But then you turn it around, and then the next day, once you open those eyes, the reset button, you could be on top of the world just that fast. So just take care of your mental health and all that. And also, real quick before Hillary reads our non-disparagement disclaimer, I wanted to pretty much say I heard something said, because one of our sister schools, Towson University College, they had a young man that was 21 years old to literally commit suicide on Monday. I was told he committed suicide. He actually jumped off of the parking lot garage. And I just remember, like when my baby had an asthma attack, and I found out, something similar. But thank God the young lady that was trying to commit suicide at that point, she didn't do it and she was safe. But to find out that a young man at Towson University actually jumped off, or, it was just reported that he fell off of the ninth level. My heart goes out to that family. My heart goes out to the schools. My heart goes out to the person that was actually driving into the parking garage to see that. So just sending prayers and positive thoughts to all the students of Towson University. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So, Tawanda, you want me to read the statement, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, before I do, I just wanted to alert you to a new comment that just came up. There's a person named Sean who said a message to you, and he said, I met you at the town hall meeting last year, and I was complaining about the corruption in the city, but they ended up locking me back up again. My name is Sean Weston. So I wanted to acknowledge.
Oh, thank you. Oh wow! And hopefully, if I'm glad you acknowledged that, because just let me know. And and so Sean, hopefully you can send me your information in my inbox, and I'll definitely make sure I reach out to you as soon as possible, and definitely sending you prayers and thoughts. So sorry that happened to you. Okay, Hillary, it's all yours.
Okay. It is the mission of the West Coalition to work for accountability for Tyrone West and all victims of police brutality. We believe that there is a connection between police brutality and community violence. Police can use de-escalation strategies to diffuse situations without necessarily using force, and we encourage community members to resolve disputes without violence. We care deeply about those families impacted by police brutality and community violence. We seek to lift up names of their loved ones from a place of respect and care. We obtain lists of names of those shot and killed by police and those lost to community violence from national and local news outlets. We know that these are by no means exhaustive lists, and that gun violence isn't the only way people are murdered. We do not obtain detailed information about the circumstances surrounding each of these deaths or the people who died. By reading these names, we are not condoning violent behavior on the part of anyone involved in the situation.
Thank you. And so at this moment, just for all the families, if you're in a prayer, that's fine. Say a prayer. If you're not, that's fine as well. Let's just for the next 2 minutes stand in solidarity with these families. Mic check. The time now is 7:48. 7:48 is the time. We're going to come back in 2 minutes. Mic check.
Mic check.
Check.
Mic check.
Thank you so much, everyone. And the floor is all yours, Hillary. Mic check.
Mic
Mic
check.
check.
Okay, so I have the list of victims of police brutality all over the country beginning on March 6th. And we remember that all of these folks have families and loved ones who are mourning them at this time. First, on March 6th, 2024, in Pompano Beach, Florida, 59-year-old Rafael Molina.
Rafael Molina.
On March 7th, in Phoenix, Arizona, 33-year-old Andre Lindsay.
Andre Lindsay.
Also on March 7th, 2024, in Hamden Township, Pennsylvania, an unidentified male. They haven't gotten his name yet.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Okay. I believe also on this date, although it doesn't give exactly the date, in Paris, Texas, 45-year-old Antonio Sessions.
Antonio Sessions.
On March 8th, in Cheyenne, Wyoming, 47-year-old Patrick Flores. Also on March 8th, in Riverton, Utah, 40-year-old Joshua Watson. Also on March 8th, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 35-year-old Francisco Hernandez. Also on March 8th, in Rochester, New Hampshire, 36-year-old Joseph Russell.
Joseph Russell.
On March 8th, in Rego Park, New York, 46-year-old, and hopefully I'm saying this name correctly, Djamshed Nematov. On March 8th, in Hamilton Township, New Jersey, an unidentified male.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
On March 9th, in Apple Valley, California, 15-year-old Ryan Gaynor.
Gaynor.
On March 9th, in Lakewood, Colorado, Zachariah DeVore, 47 years old.
Zachariah DeVore.
On March 10th, in Oildale, California, 53-year-old Cole Hughes.
Hughes.
On March 10th, in Mooresville, North Carolina, 39-year-old Justin Strasser. On March 10th, in Surprise, Arizona, 44-year-old Trinidad Ledesma. On March 11th, in Oak Ridge, North Texas, 44-year-old Roosevelt Overton.
Roosevelt Orbison.
On March 11th, in Hot Springs, Arkansas, 45-year-old Jody Lewis.
Jody Lewis.
On March 11th, in Conroe, Texas, 34-year-old Christian Salinas. On March 12th, in North Las Vegas, Nevada, 43-year-old Edward Brooks.
Brooks.
Also on March 12th, in Springvale, Arkansas, 30-year-old Dimitri Calvert.
Dimitri Calvert.
Also on March 13th, in Jamestown, Tennessee, 47-year-old Raul Portugal.
Raul
Portugal.
Raul Portugal.
On March 13th, in Niangua, Missouri, 28-year-old Dylan Austin.
Dylan Austin.
Dylan Austin.
On March 13th, in Irving, Texas, an unidentified male.
Cell block for killer cops.
Ashe. Ashe.
Also on March 13th, in Las Vegas, Nevada, another unidentified male.
Cell block for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
On March 14th, in Covington, Kentucky, Charles Neese.
Charles Neese.
Charles Neese.
On March 14th, in Eagle, Wisconsin, 39-year-old Matthew Blankman.
Matthew Blankman.
Also on March 15th, in Davie, Florida, an unidentified male.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
On March 16th, in East Los Angeles, California, 28-year-old Martin Sebastian.
Martin
Sebastian.
On March 16th, in Fort Dodge, Iowa, an unidentified person.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe. Ashe.
Also on March 16th, in Frisco, Texas, an unidentified male.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
Another on March 16th, in Macomb, Illinois, another unidentified male.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
Another on March 16th, in Beloit, Wisconsin. It doesn't say how old, but Ray Castro.
Ray Castro.
Ray Castro.
On March 16th, in Hudson, Florida, 40-year-old Paul Smith.
Paul Smith.
Paul Smith.
On March 17th, in Spring, Texas, 39-year-old Inyurman Munoz. Also on March 17th, in Taylorsville, Utah, and I'm going to try to do this name justice, 33-year-old Fueti Afiki.
Fueti
Afiki.
On March 17th, in Cleveland, Ohio, 27-year-old woman, Antwina Carter.
Antwina Carter.
Antwina Carter.
On March 18th, in Decatur, Illinois, 38-year-old Rocky Dupin.
Rocky Dupin.
On March 18th, in East Flatbush, New York, an unidentified 20-year-old man.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Cell blocks. Ashe.
Also on March 18th, in Stock Island, Florida, an unidentified 15-year-old girl.
Wow. Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
And finally, on March 18th, in Tacoma, Washington, an unidentified male.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
And that completes this very sad list for tonight.
Thank you, Hillary. Very sad list. And so now I ask, do our brother Brian have his sad list of community violence right here in our city in Baltimore? Mic check.
Mic check. Yes, I do. I this week we have 7 to name. Some of them from last week. We didn't know their names last week. We know them now. So we're going to start out with those. from March 12th, 57 years old, Timothy Peaks.
Timothy Peaks.
On the same day, 33 years old, Justice Smallwood.
Justice Smallwood.
From the next day, the 13th, 49 years old, Christine Little Roselle.
Christine Little Roselle.
Also on the 13th, 26 years old, Martinez Brown.
Martinez Brown.
On the 15th, 35 years old, Lenora Alston.
Lenora Alston.
And on the 16th of this month, 21 years old, Michael Chacon Nataran.
Michael Nataran.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's so sad for both of the lists. And then so sad for the list of people that we don't even know about. It's just really sad. So yeah, my heart goes out. And yeah, I hear my sister Nicole and Q. My heart goes out to you. Keep doing the good, wonderful stuff you're doing. And yeah, case real quick, nobody don't know my sister. This is the wife of Anthony Anderson's son Marcus, and literally while they were battling with that, unfortunately 2 weeks later she lost her baby girl Aja. It's just really sad. So my heart really goes out to you, Queen. Keep doing boots on the ground, and yeah, and you know we're here for you. So thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, Tawanda.
You're welcome. So on that note, guys, the time now is 8:02. Just remember, guys, we are the change. No one's coming to save us. Unfortunately, these killer maniacs get comfortable with killing us. We just read a whole entire list of lost ones. These, it may just have registered as a name to you, but that's someone's family member. That's someone's life that has changed in a blink of an eye. So let's just remember, live to love, love to live. I love you guys all. We will see you boots on the ground next week at West Wednesday. Remember, the same way, unfortunately, we had to bring you in with our video that we have now updated, but unfortunately, we didn't have the chance to post the updated one, but it's definitely coming soon. But just watch the video, and as you watch it, think of ways, any ways that you can help get accountability for my big brother Tyrone West. And while you're there thinking about him, think about all the victims of police brutality and murder. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And Mr. West begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No, why you
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby see the prosecution of Bernardes Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam, and my sister Dina and her family. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardes Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.